So tonight's going to be a lot of thinking from you guys. We're going to be giving you a lot of lived experience and examples of what me and Ryan have done. Or I don't know if Ryan's going to rope anyone else into kind of sharing some stuff tonight, but I think when you're hearing other people's stories and lived experiences, sometimes it's a little bit easier. So firstly, though, I want to share with you just a little breathwork technique that I learned in the last couple of weeks. And it's an Irish breathwork technique for calming you down. So we're going to have to do a lot of calm thinking tonight and real deep thinking. Let's pronounce my H's. So and we're going to be using this further on through the night as well, just to, there's another couple of exercises that we're going to go. So I want everyone to do this with me now. So I'll do it first just so I can show you. So you're going to take a deep breath in, and when you take the breath in, you're going to say, "Oh, Jesus Christ." So you say Jesus Christ on the way in, and then on the breath out, you say a slower breath out, and then you say, "Oh, for God's sake." All right, so on three. Jesus Christ. See, do you feel better already? That it actually works. It's crazy. I seen it as a joke on Facebook, but now I can't get it out of my head, and I use it forever. What do you reckon?
Sounds good.
Yeah, done. James is a fellow Irishman, so he knows. So tonight, Project X, values and beliefs. One of the things that we all know we need to do as business owners and people that just want to grow our careers or move forward, we have to set goals for ourselves. As human beings, we are goal-striving machines, and whether we set the goals or not, in our minds will have subconscious goals. And we have a choice. We either go and put the work into setting the goals ourselves, or evolution will set the goals for us. And we're going to go through that in a bit more detail. So the goal is the thing that we want to go and do. And if we don't do the work on beliefs and values first, you can get a massive misalignment with your goals and your values. Beliefs are easy to change. Your belief can be around whether you like a certain type of food or not, or a certain type of drink or not, or where you go to the gym or not. And we can change that. A lot of the time, how we show up every day is from the habits that we formed and the beliefs that we have in our mind. So every day we're kind of on autopilot. So beliefs can be changed. Values, though, are deeper. Values are something that's, it's a real deep intrinsic motivator for us. If we're working towards our values and doing something that's in line with our values, then it's going to drive a lot of momentum and motivation for us. And then your goals, then that's to decide where we're going. So beliefs, understanding the lens. If your beliefs are weak, you end up chasing a life that doesn't fit you. Values, you need to understand what matters. Values determine what feels right, wrong, meaningful, or empty. And then your goals decide where you're going. Goals connected to your beliefs and values are really powerful. So my goal for you guys tonight is to have a much better understanding around your own beliefs and your own values, and to walk away with at least one or two written down on the page that you can go, okay, I knew that, but now I have a better understanding of it even more, or shit, I didn't even think about that. And you'll see from the work I've done I'm a big believer in it. Dave Normack is not here. Mick is online, my business partner. If anyone walks there, when you walk into our boardroom, what's on the wall?
And your core values,
Yes.
integrity, and all the other ones.
And how long have they been there?
Since one is I've known you guys running it.
Yeah. So when we first started the business, we did some coaching stuff in the very early days, and somebody said you have to go away and do your vision and your mission statement, like your core values and all this stuff, and we thought it was a load of wank. But in the end, when we did it, it's been the most powerful thing over the years. It's been the thing. When we have our toolbox talk every week and everyone's sitting in that room, safety and our value of safety, and then the rules around that are written underneath it, you can't hide from it. If somebody says to in that meeting, somebody made me get up on the roof, which would, without fall protection, which wouldn't happen with us. We would never make anyone do that. Or something happened safety wise and we were to brush it under the carpet, we might as well get up and rip that core value down off the wall and put it in the bin because it means nothing. So we really do live by those values. And last year is when I put the most work into my own personal values to get my goals done, and I could see the power in it. You know, when you see my values later on, if you put the work into getting your values down on paper, you can almost see your goals just from reading your values. You can see where your goals are gonna what the next step is that you're gonna want to focus on. So the map is not the territory. This is something that you would have heard from the alcohol-free session that I did, the high performance alcohol-free session. The map is not the territory, so we don't experience reality exactly as it is. We experience it through an internal map of the world. What shapes your map, the wins and failures, life experience, upsets and circumstances, conditions and beliefs. So we all have a different way of seeing things, you know, and the first, you know, based on our values and our goals and our life experiences and all that kind of stuff. But the first thing when we see something, the first thing that it hits is our beliefs, and understanding those beliefs is really important. You know, we all would have heard the thing that holds a lot of people back is limiting beliefs. We put beliefs on ourselves that limit us from going harder. I'm going to use you as an example, Jared, because it's the one that just stands out over and over again, and I'm so proud of him for doing it. But when Jared first started, we've been working with Jared since the day we started our business 13 years ago. And I remember the first year, whatever, for Christmas, we were doing some pictures and he had team and we tried to get him into a photo and he just wouldn't even get in a photo. I said to you, I'll get that photo for tonight. But there was a photo and we got on Jared's Facebook and found a photo and photoshopped it into the picture just for the laugh. But now look what he's doing on his social media, you know, with his videos and stuff. He puts us all to shame, you know, because he's gotten rid of that limiting belief and pushed past it. So you can change your limiting beliefs. And just to highlight that even more, you know, the last when I did the high performance alcohol free session, I had a picture of a burger on the screen. So, you know, the first person say that in this, the businessman looks at it, the hungry businessman looks at the burger, sees it, smells it, starts salivating, says, yes, I want that burger. I have to eat it. I'm gonna eat it. He's hungry, sees value, reacts with desire, versus the ethical vegan looks at that burger and is absolutely repulsed by the burger, the idea of it, where it came from, everything to do with that burger is just repulsing. And then you have someone for religious beliefs, they just look at the burger and go, it just doesn't come into my mind. It's just not something I've ever thought of. But what's changed? It's still the same burger. So we all have different views of the world. We all have different views of how we look at things, and we can change that. You know, something that I'm kind of big on myself, and I had a few beers over the Easter. I'm not saying I'm a teetotaler, but I do see the value in periods when you want to get shit done, which is going to be me for the next 3 or 4 months. Being alcohol free is like a magic pill you can take. I mean, it's like a magic pill that you can take to supercharge what you're doing. So in this period of time, if I look at a beer, I'm going to go, nah, that's going to drain my fun, drain my energy. It doesn't even interest me. I'm not going to eat it. So I'll drink it so I can deal with the stress of running a business, doing coaching, doing teaching, having a family, all that kind of stuff. Somebody else with the same stresses and pressures that I have looks at it and goes, fuck, I need that beer to de-stress and do all this kind of, you know, unwind. And they have a different belief around it. So flipping the script and changing your beliefs around something is important. So why is it important for us to understand these values? You know, we do coaching. What we do here, most of it is mentoring. And you would have heard Renchi talking about this. It's understanding what we're all doing and then kind of being pointed in the right direction for what the next steps are. So once Renchi or myself working with the plumbers, once we know what your values, beliefs, and goals are and where you're going, then we can mentor you to how to get there. This is the next step. If we were to coach you on how to get there, we'd be going around in circles for years, waiting for you to come up with the solution yourself. But the most important thing to start with is you need the values, beliefs, and goals yourself. So this self-determination theory from a couple of guys, Ryan and Decky. Actually, Decky could be a woman, I don't know. Ryan, I reckon, is a man. Maybe. So they found that external pressure, if someone was to say, do this, do that, that's the next step. It's just going to be a list of tasks. There's going to be no motivation to do that. You might be able to get motivated at the time, but there's going to be no motivation to do it. Someone tells you what to do, obligations, pressure, advice. It turns into noise and rarely sticks. Mentoring and advice giving can help, but it never connects to beliefs and values. It's just noise. Versus internal purpose, so intrinsic motivators, something that is linked to your values. I want this matters to me. This is intrinsic motivation, far more powerful and more durable. And when it connects to beliefs and values, it becomes unstoppable. So how it works, the core flow, you see something, it passes through your belief system, it's checked against your values, you make meaning from it, and then we respond. Some people can see the exact same thing, and this is why, but some people can see the exact same thing and walk away with completely different conclusions. And this is why misunderstandings happen so easily. And this is why, for a business, this is why we have all our core values on the wall. So anyone that walks into our business knows what the values are. They know what the rule book is for us. And we've had guys come on board with us over the years and self-select themselves to leave because they just didn't fall inside those values. People are not just reacting to facts, they're reacting to facts through their filters. Change the filter and change the response. So we all have the capability of changing the filter. Why values matter so much? Values are not just nice words on paper. They're the standards that determine what feels right, wrong, and meaningful. Misaligned, tension and inner conflict, feeling flat and uninspired, something always feels off, chronic frustration. So has anyone ever had a goal they were chasing and just was not motivated to do it, just didn't want to turn up every day? I know we've all found ourselves in that position. Versus when you're really aligned, when your goal and your values really align, the clarity and direction are clear, energy, and you've got energy and drive, you're grounded and confident, and you thrive. So most people never do the work. And I've heard a couple of you say tonight that, you've came here to get your business to another level, that you were kind of stuck and wanted to move on. And, building something for me, knowledge and wisdom is one of my biggest core values. Learning, being curious. If I'm learning, doing new things as well, I love doing these sessions because I get to pull all the learning that I've been doing together and then share with you guys and help everyone else learn from it as well. Most people don't do this work. They don't sit down and put the time into their beliefs and values and goals. They just turn up every day and just keep doing the work and keep doing the work. Whereas if you stop and do this work, it really gives you 10x's your energy levels to be able to go and achieve that. What they never do, they never examine their beliefs, they never define their values, and they never set goals connected to who they are. So what are they running on? They're running on old programming, fear, other people's expectations, social conditioning, survival wiring, and this is a dangerous way to live. So if anyone, and this is what I said at the very start of tonight, what did I say? Lost my train of thought there. Most people never do this work. We're, our subconscious, that's what I was going to say, we're goal-striving machines. So we're going to set goals whether we like to or not. So, when you look at a goal or values or beliefs, all they are is filters. We're filtering out the noise so we know what to focus on. Our evolutionary filters were to stay safe and don't stand out, don't upset the tribe, compare yourself to others, play it small, avoid risk, focus on danger, and expect the worst. So when we were creeping through the savannah, hunting and waiting for saber-toothed tigers to jump out and eat us, all of these traits and survival instincts and values would have been really, really important, and they would have served us right back then. But in the modern age, we don't need those. We don't need those survival instincts anymore. So what we need to do is set our own goals and our own filters to make sure that we are moving towards it, the thing that we want. So goals as filters. So if you set a goal, and I've got it written down here, number 3 is a frequency illusion. The car was always there. Your brain just had no instructions to notice it. Goals work the same way. You know, we all know that one. You see a car that you like for the first time, and then all of a sudden, and you want to get it. All of a sudden, you start seeing the car everywhere. It was always there. It's just now our brain is switched on to see the cars. So it's the exact same thing with goals. If we've sat down and put some serious time into our values and goals and getting it down on paper and really knowing where we're going, we start seeing the opportunities that take us towards that goal. So there's a saying that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And it just means that you have to be ready to attack that goal, to come down to coaching and get your business to another level. You know, I'm sure there's people in this room that just thought themselves, oh shit, I need some help with business, I want to go and do it. And then all of a sudden this popped up somehow and they ended up here. So when the teacher is ready, the student will appear. So the goal removes noise. The goal tells the brain what matters. Everything else fades to background, sharpens your attention. You start noticing things you're previously completely blind to. Frequency illusion, which I just explained. So emotion equals movement. When emotion connects to a goal, movement starts, opportunity becomes visible, and the world looks different. So when we get to goal setting, then you've got BHAGs. Now, I thought I would just explain what BHAGs are because sometimes people just don't know what that is, and it's just thrown around pretty loosely. But it's from the Rockefeller Habits, which was a kind of old school business growth book, and BHAGs came from that. So it just means big, hairy, audacious goal. So you're basically, it's what are your wildest dreams for your goal? What's your vision for the future? It could be working with Richard Branson on Necker Island. You know, what is the goal that you want to achieve? Not the safe version, not the socially acceptable version, not the watered down version, the real version. A BHAG stretches your identity, it wakes people up, and it forces expansion. So we want to dream big and chase that goal. And then the deja vu goal setting that we use here, which Ryan is going to go into more detail, it's already seen. It's already visualizing that goal in your brain, really getting the detail so you can see it, smell it, hear it, you know, every bit about it, so that it's in your mind. And again, you've now you've painted the picture of that goal in your head. So the filter is there. So you're going to start seeing the opportunities then to take you towards where your goal is going to be. I won't mention any more on that one. Something I think that's a really good one to keep in mind, and I actually had to remind myself of this in the last couple of weeks, just working on my own stuff. The gap and the gain. So the gap is the gap between where you are now and what that goal is. And some people, they'll focus on that. I'm so far away from reaching that goal. You know, I've been working on it for so long and I'm still not where I need to be. And then rather than focusing on the gain, which is, I've been working on this thing for 3 years, but look how far I've come. You know, I aimed for the stars and landed on the moon, or whatever that saying was, but you've come so far. And I was looking back over my own goals in the last couple of weeks, and yeah, the goals that my goal that I set 3 years ago that I wanted to achieve in a year is it's only starting to come true this year. It's taken 3 years for me to get to where I wanted to be. So it's important to celebrate the wins and see where you came from, because like going back to our evolutionary instincts, we have a negativity bias. So we naturally have a negativity bias. So we will see the problems. We will see where things could go wrong. We will see the catastrophe. We have to see the positive side of things. We need to be able to visualize the positive result, the good result, having the wins, because otherwise, if your negative bias just is left unchecked, what's going to happen? You're just going to be absolutely stressed off your head, running around the place, worrying about all the shit that can go wrong. And that will happen if you don't have your goals locked in. So if you're just turning up, you might know what the next step is, but if you haven't really put the work into getting their goals down on paper, then how do you visualize the positives? So the gain, focus on the gain, build momentum, get your belief locked in and have bigger goals. So I'll explain this next bit. With your values, obviously you're going to put down good values on your page. You're not going to put any shit ones, because we all want to have good values. And if you want to be a good leader, and this is something that I really want to, I suppose it's kind of guided by the boys, the plumbers that I'm working with, and they're all building $1 million businesses at the moment, putting systems and processes and all that kind of stuff in place. When you start getting the momentum and the systems, and what's the next thing that comes, you're now bringing team into the equation. You need to start hiring people. So if you want to be a good leader, then people want to see that you have good values. I'm definitely going to do some more stuff around all of the leadership stuff. Renji has some cool stuff on it as well. But you look at a wolf pack. The largest wolf pack that was ever recorded in Yellowstone was the Druid Peak wolf pack, and there was 37 wolves in that wolf pack. And then there was one leader. So there was one wolf out of 37 wolves that was the leader. Why was he the leader? Because the other 36 wolves could have easily just turned on that one wolf and tore him to shreds. Why was he the leader? It wasn't from going around and bullying other wolves, biting them, robbing food from them, being aggressive, forcing them to do things. It was from being there when they needed them, being the first one to find all the food, protecting the pack, finding shelter, all those leadership qualities that are really, really important. And we need to look at our own values so that we can be better leaders. And that filters down through your organization. And guess what? Like-minded people attract like-minded people. So if you're like that, like for us at iEnergy, we look for that in our team, but we also look for that in our associates that we work with. We look for that in the builders that we work with. We don't want to be working with dickheads that we have to chase money for all the time and blame and unorganized, all that kind of stuff. We want to be working with good people with a good positive attitude that care about what they're doing and have a bit of fun while they're doing it. So all those values filter down. Another one to think about, staying on the Wolves team, and I got my Wolverine t-shirt on as well, if anyone noticed. Brooke knows.
Very
Yes, I know. Yeah, it all happened by accident. Yeah. I bought this today. I had one. You see it, didn't you? Yeah, he noticed. One of my goals was what the theme of it was Wolverine. I wanted to get ripped like Wolverine, but then I hurt my back. So anyway, old man story. Another parable that is a really cool one that I really like, and I heard this today listening to a guy that I like listening to, and he just happened to be talking about wolves, and I was like, oh, that's actually going to be good for tonight. But there was a father and son having a chat, and the father said to the son, there's two wolves inside us. One of them is a good wolf, and he He grows on joy, fun, wonder, energy. And then the other one is the bad wolf. And the bad wolf thrives on, you know, laziness, gluttony, anger, frustration. And the son said to the father, well, Dad, how do I make sure that the good one, that the good wolf wins? And what do you reckon the father said to the son? Exactly. Feed the good wolf. So every time you do show up to the gym, who said that didn't want to go to the gym? Somebody said, no, I can't remember. Every time you go to the gym when you weren't going to go, you're feeding the good wolf. Every time you have the hard conversation versus not having the hard conversation, you're feeding the good wolf. If you don't have the conversation, you're feeding the bad wolf. So it's something to just keep in mind. You know, we're always looking at how we can show up and do better every day. What's the first thing on the 7 daily disciplines? Look at your goals 3 times a day. You know, you look over all of the 7 daily disciplines and the stuff that you can link back to your values in that. So the last thing before I kind of we're doing good for time here. The last thing that I'm gonna do with you guys is a little exercise, and let's see what comes out of it. Okay. Oh, actually, no, I'll leave that one for a minute. There's another one that I want to do. I forgot. I should have done it earlier on. We'll reverse back a little bit just about, you know, how we see things, you know, that, you know, we think we see everything, but we don't. Let me just see if I can find this.
This is a test of selective attention.
Okay. One sec. This is just a bit of fun. So this is just a little test for you guys, just to go back on our discussion around what we see every day. You know, it hits our belief system. It again goes to our values, our goals, all that kind of stuff. But you know, we think we see everything all the time. So let's just have a read of this, and let's see how many people get the number of people.
This is a test of selective attention. Count how many times the players wearing white pass the basketball. How many passes did you count? The correct answer is 15 passes. But did you see the gorilla? This video is from research by Daniel Simons and Christopher Chabris and is copyrighted. It is available for use in talks, training, and teaching on DVDs from VisCog Productions. Learn more at theinvisiblegorilla.com.
Who saw the gorilla walking through everyone?
It's 15 passes. But did you see the gorilla?
I know, I watched that, I was like, what? No fucking way. I had to go back to it. So
This video is from research by Daniel Simons and Christopher Chabris and is copyrighted.
okay, let's get rid of
It is available for use in talks, training, and
So yeah, I think it's important for us to open our eyes and, as Renchi says, turn off the I know switch and just be open to seeing what's around us, because you know our brains, you know, we see everything, but our brains are like Photoshop. It's filling in the blanks. So what is it that we're missing? Like, it's so important to do this work. So okay, one little thing that I'm going to do with you guys now, and there is going to be a goal for the end of this, but I'll tell you at the end. And this one we are going to maybe use a little bit of breathing compliments of Gavin from he told us this breathwork exercise last week. So this is some really kind of deep work on getting your values down on paper. So it's not just about, oh yeah, what are my values, and writing them down. I'm going to give you something that you can go away and do if you choose to or not. That will give you a pretty solid document that would be the foundations of your own values. So it's called the Life Force Manifesto, but we'll do a little exercise. Some of you might have done this before, but I want everyone to you need a pen and paper. I want everyone to close their eyes and and you can continue breathing like this if you want. Just don't fall asleep. Josh looks like he's going to fall asleep. You got a new baby and he's back to work in the office and on site. And so I want everyone to close their eyes and take a deep breath in for 4 or 5 seconds and then exhale for 7 or 8 seconds. So it slows the heart rate and relaxes you a little bit. And imagine that you're 100 years old in hospital and you're in your dying days. And you're surrounded by your family, your kids, your grandkids, anyone that was close to you in your life. And one of the grandkids steps up to the bed and asks a question, and he says, how can I live a life as energetic and wonderful and loving and kind and adventurous as your life? And then the answer that you give your grandson or grandchild, I want you to spend 1 minute now. Don't think about it. Just write down anything that comes into your head about your answer. Cool. So now we'll flip the script a little bit. Not that you have to do any more writing, but now look at that from the point of view that was you asking that question of your future self. So that was you giving advice to yourself. So maybe online, if you could maybe start punching actually have a chat amongst yourselves there for a minute. Mick, maybe if you could lead that and just have a chat about what came up, apart from Mick's cholesterol. That's actually my cholesterol at the moment. But yeah, just have a chat about that for a minute and then punch it into the chat box and I'll read them out. And then in the room, maybe just have a chat amongst yourselves for a couple of minutes about what came up, and then we'll go around the tables. Yeah?
How we'll go with all the noise in the background, but Oliver, you're first on my video feed. So what did you find from that? How did you go answering that? You're a lot younger than me too, so I'm interested in how you felt about this one.
Yeah, mine wasn't as detailed or inspiring as yours, but I had take risks and stay uncomfortable. You'll either learn and grow or benefit from every risk you take, and it will turn you into a better person from it.
Exactly. It's a shorter way of everything I just wrote. Exactly.
Yeah.
Get comfortable in the uncomfortable, right? Like fucking do what others don't.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Love it. Royce.
Mine was even shorter again because my missus got home from work and I said g'day, but I just wrote down, be present, life's short. Did anyone die? Who cares?
Oh, they're good. Yeah.
That's all
Constantly in my life, I go, someone's always got it worse. It can always be a worse day. And it always reminds me to be humble no matter what.
Yeah, it's what every time I come home and have a shit day from work, the missus always says to me, did anyone die? That's all she ever says to me and gives me a hug.
Oh, that's great. I got a 3-year-old daughter who won't give me a hug unless I give her a lollipop or something. So at least you get a hug. Belle, you're up.
Hello. Yeah, again, mine wasn't as detailed as yours, Mika. So mine's spend time with family, stress less, stay positive, Direct your own life because you're the CEO of your own life.
Direct your own life. It's a golden rule, that.
It is.
I wrote in there, don't let yourself get dragged
We've
down
got
by
a few
others and don't
things
drag
online
others
here.
down.
I'll read them out
That's
first.
it.
Anyone else see a monkey? So the online was onto it. Mick put his in by living a life outside your comfort zone, saying yes where others say no, be explorational, experiment with change and ideas, be true to your values, always love and be loved, never let others hold you back and never let yourself hold back others. Independence with tough togetherness is a secret ingredient not many understand. Live many lives. Jesus goes on. Good man, Mick. Not one. Love what you do. And if you don't love it, change it. Let yourself be vulnerable and get comfortable with being wrong. In fact, look for it and embrace it to let you grow. Never look back unless it's smile. So, Mick, what kind of theme what's some of the things that came up in your group?
Definitely community and your own life, be in control of what you want and get comfortable in the uncomfortable. It's all those things in there. It's everything we live and learn in here, and it's have a lifestyle around being adaptable to change and making your own life, not doing the rat race type shit that all the other people do.
Yeah.
It definitely is be different to others. Like all of it is be different to others, but have a community around you while you do it.
Yeah. Love it. So yeah, live a life less ordinary.
Mm.
Yeah, cool. But how about this table?
We had a couple of different approaches. Do yours?
For me, just words sort of sprung up
Yeah, nice.
in terms of what sort of meaning, what's important in life, and I just brought down a heap of words.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether that was right.
Yeah, that's awesome. What did you write?
So I wrote love, family, trust, faith, discipline, belief, joy, charity, laugh, dream, work skills, grow, be adventurous, explore, be curious.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, a lot of them. Some of the stuff I was reading from Mick and just hearing that is stuff that I've got in mine as well. So it's the good stuff that comes up. Cool. And you?
Yeah, so I focused in on what's most important to me at the moment, I guess.
Yeah.
So I put down protect your time, spend it with the people and the things that you value the most. Invest into the lives of the people who surround you.
Yeah.
You can't help but find joy when you're adding joy into everyone else's lives.
Yeah. Cool. That's good. Sorry, I didn't mean for you to stop. I just oh, you were done anyway. If anyone that wants to talk, somebody has to talk for the table. So anyone else feels like doing more, they can.
Yeah, I just wrote down, be close to yourself, move away from bad people, be the reason people have fun, find that's fun within yourself, not elsewhere. Move on with your life, don't get stuck in the nonsense.
Nice. So growth. What about the other lads?
Don't go really, guys have a voice, man.
Yeah, one more.
There you go.
For me, it was more just go in your own direction and don't be afraid to work hard to get there.
Yeah.
Be the best at what you do and you kind of reap the rewards. Yeah, that's pretty much me.
I think that's a good point. You know, if more money is one of your values, then you're never going to get there because the more money you get, the more money you're going to spend. And yeah, I think chasing success is a better way of acquiring wealth than chasing the wealth itself. Cool. Ben?
Mine's pretty boring. Just setting goals and aiming high.
Yeah, nice.
Sometimes being spontaneous, sometimes like life, just people around you and things come to you for a reason. And like I've been here today, I sort of come at the right time for me. So
yeah, cool. Yeah, well, that's not boring. You're doing work that most people don't do.
Yeah.
And I didn't do it till I started doing all this either. So it's not boring. You're probably, I don't know what the percent wise is, but you're definitely in the higher percentage of people that are actually going places. Cool. Rowan?
I always tend to go for the negative stuff. I don't know why I do, but I just do.
Negative bias.
Yeah, a little bit. Anyhow, I just sort of had, first thing that came to my mind was don't get caught up in drama and avoid toxic people.
Yeah.
And then that was the first thing that I wrote down straight away. But then within a minute, I thought, oh, that's not really very good. And then I changed, I wrote another sentence, which was have fun, enjoy life, and don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think having the good with the bad, Josh said a similar thing. Avoid people. What did you say? Avoid?
Move away from bad people.
Yeah. It's good. Nice. Jared?
yeah, I had
basically a bunch of not words but sentences that don't care what people think, but care about people. Do what you say you'll do. Know what you want. Don't do things just because you feel you have to. Do what you want to do. Believe in yourself.
Yeah.
So that's sort of
Cool, man. It's good.
theme, I guess.
Yeah, I just had learn from your mistakes, learn, travel, have fun, be healthy. The only people walk over you, be kind, be positive, have goals, have values.
Yeah, nice. That's good. Yeah, I like the travel bit. Yeah.
Never give up. Love yourself. Don't take shit. Put on your own. And keep building.
Yeah, nice.
Build your business, build your life.
Yeah. Cool.
I had don't care about what others think, be kind, take risks, find your passion, push yourself out of your comfort zone and travel and learn about different cultures and people.
Lovely.
I put a bunch of stuff down, so I'll just say a few. Say yes always, protect your energy. If something makes you smile, don't let it go. Let them leave if they choose to, be kind, and you can only control yourself.
It's good.
I have take risks, travel, ask questions, challenge yourself, work hard, and be loyal.
Cool. Oh, really good. Like, yeah, all the stuff from here and there is stuff that I had in my own as well. So did we all get something from that exercise? We all gonna leave here with something that they didn't have before you came in? Yeah, cool. All right, good. Well, that's what I wanted from this session. Now we're gonna keep going while the creative juices are flowing. I've got 4 more questions for you, and then we're not gonna go into these. These are just for you. So write whatever you want. I'm not gonna pass the microphone around again. I just want you to write down what comes into your head, and then at the very end of all this, I'm going to show you how to put it into a really short daily reminder that you can just look at it every day and see it and just get energy from it. So first question is, and I'll put some music on while we're doing this, and let me see here. Well, we last question first. Who are you at your best? Next question. What do you stand for no matter what? So what do you stand for no matter what? I am fully stepped into teaching, coaching, and leadership at scale. I've built a powerful brand that impacts thousands of tradesmen. I live with freedom of time, location, and energy. I'm physically elite, strong, lean, and indestructible. I'm leading my family with presence and pride. I'm chasing adventure regularly, both ocean and mountains. I've built systems and teams that run without me. I am operating at my full capacity every day. Cool. So I think we all have some stuff written down on the page. And if you look up on the board, and I can share this on school, I've wrote mine down. The only one I didn't read out was the first one, which is, who am I at my best? I'm a disciplined leader who executes with intent. I move with strength, clarity, and purpose. I lead from the front at home in business and life. I am calm under pressure, decisive in action, and relentless in pursuit. I build people, not just projects. I live what I teach, and I am at the pinnacle of health and fitness. So that they were mine. So this is called the Life Force Manifesto. Now you can go away and have this chat with your families as well. You know, what are your family values? You know, so if you're raising kids, well, do the kids know what your family values are? You know, to love and be loved, all that kind of stuff. So that can be quite powerful as well, actually sitting down and having those common values and making sure everyone aligns to it. And I know in business over the years, I don't have a family values, but I just, from working on this over the last couple of weeks, I heard somebody say that they did it, and I thought that actually is a really good idea. It's something that I'm going to go and do, because I've seen the power of it in business, in our team. And let's face it, you know, if you're a business owner with a team working for you, You're their mom and their dad and their brother and their sister, and you're everything, because you have to deal with all the shit. And you have to enjoy doing it. Because you never need a holiday and you never get sick and you don't have any problems. So it's been a powerful tool there, and I think it'd be a powerful tool with your family. So, my questions, I've been reading out my answers as we're going along, but what we can do then is put it into a daily code. So something that you can look at every day on your phone as a screenshot. I'll show you mine in a second, but kind of go through all of that and put it into a code. So mine is, when I look at my phone every day, I see, be curious, curious and hungry for knowledge. Be disciplined, be an athlete, be dangerous, be decisive, be in nature, be grateful, be generous, be a leader, be loved and love. I heard Mick say that one. Exactly like that. So I was thinking, was he looking on my base camp today? Be present, be strong, be consistent, be relentless, be calm under pressure, be a builder of people, be honest, and be courageous. And then all I did was pop that into ChatGPT and asked it to put that into a cool little mountainy screenshot so I could have it on my phone. So every time I open my phone, there's too much shit going on.
Put that down, do not disturb, and then open my
Yeah, not working. Anyway, you get the drift. You can put all that into a daily code for yourself that you can look at it every single day and see it. Yeah. Last thing. So this has been, Basecamp, we all use Basecamp. We all know what Basecamp is. I save my goals in here every year. Oops. Thanks, Brooke. James, you're supposed to tell me about this. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose the crown.
I showed him one thing like this.
So this is my goals folder in Project X, and the cool thing is now I've got goals going back to 23, 24 here. So when I sit down to do my goals, I'm able to look back over the last few years, and in 23, 24, I had these massive lists with loads of stuff that I want to do, and I went nuts. I achieved some stuff that year, but I didn't achieve it all. Then last year, I really shortened it down, and I just had like, these are the things that I want. I had 1 or 2 things compared to 5 or 6 things in health, family, learning, eye energy, all my different goals that I would plan on. And I achieved all my goals last year, every single one of them, hands down, except for, well, we didn't get as strong as I wanted to get because I hurt my back. But anyway, I'm not unfit. I still made some gains. But the goals I made in 23, 24, that was the biggest kind of reflection I had. I was like, that actually took me 3 years to do, because those goals are starting to come true now. So I still made all that progress in all those years. But, they've been pretty big goals and big dreams, and I had to go and learn some stuff to make it all happen. And now it's all starting to happen. If I hadn't had the goals and the vision and the dreams in the first place, then how far would I have got? Probably not very far. So in my values folder here, like I had values documented in 2025. As I said at the start, your beliefs, you can kind of change them pretty easily, but your values is something that you're not really, it's you. Your values are you. So this year, all I did was really put a theme to my values, and I reworded. I had something in there about having a positive mindset, and a big one for me is having a courageous mindset, having the courage to go and do the things and make the change, because it can be scary when you're stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something that, well, I don't know what that path is. All I know is the next step. So I'm going to trust that the next step is the right step and just keep building on that, because I know the direction that I'm going is going to make everyone else around me step up and build their own direction as well. And everyone thrives from that. So my values, my theme for the year is fortune favors the brave. And my little reminders are: step into the arena, act with courage, back yourself fully, trust the next step, and lead from the front. And then I've got my values. So I've got some around wisdom, a love of learning, health and fitness, family, balance and legacy, empowerment through growth and mentorship, adventure, self-reliance and resilience, integrity and leadership, and then a courageous mindset. I'll share all this on somewhere, Basecamp or school or one of them. So if you want to read through them all, but my values there, let's just pick one. Self-reliance and resilience. I strive to be resourceful, independent and self-reliant, whether it's through hunting, diving or business. I value mastering skills that allow me to thrive in my own terms. This philosophy underpins my coaching and mentoring, teaching others to be resilient and capable of standing on their own 2 feet. Like, guess what my goals are for this year? I want to go and do more coaching stuff. I want to go and do more hunting. I want to do more diving. I want to get fitter. I want to get stronger. Like, all those things that I want to go and do, they all link back to my core values. So I'm excited to go and do it. Like, that really lights a fire in my belly to go and do that stuff. Another thing that you can do, I haven't, but it might be, if you really want to go deep on your values, on our, they're not really rules, I suppose, on our values in the office, we've got the value of culture, but then we've written underneath that what that means. I suppose it is the rules. You could do that, you know, if your values are to love and be loved, you could say, I'll feel loved when my kids give me a hug. I feel loved when I, you know, come home from work and see my wife in the evenings. You could put some rules around what all that means, you know, so you could really put some context around it and really visualize it. So guess what, when you come up, you're looking at that on your phone every day, and then you come home and you get a hug off your kids. It's just, what wolf are we feeding? We're feeding the good wolf. And that's what it's all about. And I reckon Gav would have loads to say on this, because it's all visualizing. Is he still there? Yeah. Any words of wisdom, Gav, to sign off on this?
Probably too many to do in justice in a short space of time here, but we can probably work together and do another presentation on expanding on some of that stuff in depth.
Yeah. Cool. All right. 7:15, hour and 15. I think I'll wrap that up there. As I said, I will share all this stuff somewhere so everyone can get it. And if anyone wants to do any more work on any of this stuff, yeah, happy to do a session here some night and go a bit deeper on it. And otherwise, I'm going to pass you over to Ryan. So Ryan's going to take you through deja vu now. So, okay, we've got a better understanding of our beliefs and values. Now we're actually going to, what are the goals? Where are we heading?